Hello all and welcome back. In today's episode, we will be discussing cytokines and cell signaling, which is my favourite immunology topic. So remember, the immune system is a complex network of organs, cells and proteins that protect the body from pathogens, infections and even cancer. Remember, the immune system has two main branches: the innate immune system, which is fast, non-specific and is the body's first line of defense, and then the adaptive immune system, which is slower but highly specific and is capable of remembering and targeting particular invaders. So communication between cells is fundamental to this system. It allows immune cells to coordinate rapid and precise responses while maintaining self-tolerance. Without these communication networks, the immune system would fail to detect threats, distinguish self from non-self, or regulate powerful immune responses, leading to infection, autoimmune disease, or cancer, particularly when I say self-tolerance and distinguishing between self and non-self. If the immune system can't do this, autoimmune disorders and diseases tend to appear. The body has to differentiate between its own tissues and then pathogenic invaders. If the body attacks its own tissues, that's what we call an autoimmune disease or disorder. So at the heart of these cellular conversations are cytokines. Now, cytokines are small proteins that act as messengers, essentially. Cytokines regulate and coordinate immune responses by controlling the growth, activation and movement of immune cells. They are essential for both innate and adaptive immunity. They enable cells to essentially talk to each other, to mount defenses, manage inflammation, and guide differentiation and migration. So what are cytokines? So now that we understand how crucial communication is for the immune system, let's just take a closer look and look at the key players in this cellular conversation: cytokines. Cytokines are essentially the words that immune cells use to talk to each other. They are small proteins secreted by various immune cells, each carrying instructions that can activate, suppress, or coordinate different parts of the immune system. Think of them as text messages sent between cells, making sure the right response happens at the right time. So how do cytokines work? Cytokines carry messages by binding to specific receptors on the surface of their target cells. Think of a receptor like a lock and the cytokine as the key. Only the right key can open the lock and trigger a response. Once a cytokine binds to its receptor, it initiates intracellular signaling pathways. These are like a chain of switches inside cells that pass the message along, ultimately telling the cell how to behave, whether to grow, divide, move to a certain location, or produce other signaling molecules. Cytokine communication can happen in different ways. There's autocrine signaling, so the cell sends a message to itself. It's like leaving yourself a sticky note to remember what to do next. Paracrine signaling, on the other hand, the message is sent to nearby cells. This is the most common way that immune cells use to coordinate their response. And then there's endocrine signaling. So cytokines enter the bloodstream to affect cells far away, similar to sending a long-distance letter. By using these different modes of signaling, cytokines ensure that immune responses are precise, coordinated, and appropriately scaled, whether it's local infection or a systemic threat. So let's take a look at some key signaling cytokine pathways. So when cytokines bind to their receptors, they trigger intracellular signaling pathways. These are like a series of dominoes or relay race inside the cell that passes the message from the surface of the nucleus, telling the cell how to respond. Now let's look at the major pathways. So the JAK-STAT pathway. This is one of the most important pathways for cytokine signaling. Cytokine binding activates Janus kinases, or JAKs, then activate STAT proteins. STATs move into the nucleus and turn on genes that control cell growth, differentiation, or immune activity. Think of it like flipping a switch that directly programs the cell's behavior. Secondly, there's the MAPK pathway. So this is activated by certain cytokines. It controls cell proliferation and differentiation. It works like a chain of messages, passing along signals to make the cells multiply or change type. It's important for immune cells to expand during infection. Then there's the NF-kappa B pathway. So this is central for inflammation and immune activation. When activated, NF-kappa B moves into the nucleus and turns on genes for inflammatory cytokines, chemokines, and survival proteins. You can think of NF-kappa B as the cell's emergency alarm system. So by using these pathways, cytokines precisely control immune cell behavior, ensuring that the right response happens at the right time and place. Now let's look at cytokines in immune cell communication. So cytokines are the language of the immune system. They allow cells to coordinate their actions like a well-trained team. Let's look at some examples. T-cell activating B cells. When a T helper cell detects a pathogen, it can release cytokines like interleukin number 4 and interleukin number 5. These signals tell B cells to start producing antibodies tailored to that specific pathogen, like giving instructions to an antibody factory. Macrophages recruiting neutrophils. Macrophages at the site of infection secrete tumor necrosis factor alpha, which acts like a flare, calling neutrophils to the battlefield to attack invaders. Interferons during viral infection. Infected cells release interferons, warning neighbouring cells of the viral threat and ramping up of antiviral defences. It's like sending out an emergency alert to the surrounding area. Cytokines also enable crosstalk between innate and adaptive immunity. For example, signals from macrophages, innate immune system, help activate T cells, adaptive immune system, which in turn enhance the activity of B cells and other immune cells. This constant conversation ensures that the immune response is coordinated, efficient, and proportionate to the threat. By understanding these interactions, we can see how immune cells don't work in isolation. They function as a highly organized network, communicating through cytokines that help protect the body. So let's look at cytokine networks as a concise version. Cytokines act in complex networks to regulate the immune response. Redundancy. Multiple cytokines can perform similar functions, ensuring reliable signaling. Synergy and antagonism. Cytokines can enhance or inhibit others' effects to fine-tune responses. Cytokine storm. Excessive cytokine production can cause severe inflammation and tissue damage, seen in some infections and autoimmune conditions. These networks maintain balance in immune activity, preventing under or overreaction. So what is some clinical relevance? Cytokines play a central role in many health conditions. Infections and inflammation. Cytokines coordinate immune responses to pathogens, but excessive cytokine activity can contribute to inflammation and tissue damage. Autoimmune diseases and chronic conditions. Dysregulated cytokine signaling can lead to the immune system attacking the body's own tissues. Now let's take a look at some nutraceutical modulation. So certain natural compounds can help influence cytokine activity to help maintain immune balance. The first is curcumin. So this is the active compound in turmeric. Curcumin is shown to reduce pro-inflammatory cytokines like tumor necrosis factor alpha and interleukin number 6. Quercetin can also modulate cytokine production and support anti-inflammatory responses. In particular, it helps decrease the excessive cytokine of NF-kappa B. Liposomal glutathione supports antioxidant defenses, indirectly reducing excessive cytokine-driven inflammation. By understanding how these compounds affect cytokine signaling, we can see how diet and supplementation may help support a balanced immune response, complementing the body's natural defenses. So, to summarize, and some take-home messages. So, cytokines are the words of the immune system. They allow cells to communicate, coordinate, and respond to threats. Proper cytokine signaling ensures a balanced immune response, strong enough to fight infections, but controlled to prevent excessive inflammation or autoimmune reactions. Nutraceuticals like curcumin, quercetin, and liposomal glutathione can help support this balance by modulating cytokine activity. Understanding cytokines gives us a window into the immune system's complex conversations, showing how cells work together to protect the body. By exploring these interactions further, we can appreciate the incredible precision and adaptability of our immune defenses. Thank you very much for sticking with me till the end of this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. And remember guys, that was science made simple.